Hello everyone, this is Orlando from A Collector's Dream. And today I'm going to show you the second part of my SGC reveal video. These are going to be cards from the 60s, starting from 1968 to 1972. I just showed the vintage ones in my last video, these 59s and 62s mostly. And I'll be showing the later ones from 73 through the modern cards on the next video. So first I want to say that these cards came back within 1 week from SGC, and I sent over 100 cards. So that's incredible turnaround time. From looking at it when SGC got them to when they graded it, it took them about 5 days to get them graded. So I want to say that that's a great turnaround time. The other thing is, I want to thank everybody that subscribed to my channel. You guys have done an awesome job of getting me up to the 300 subscribers in a 6-month period. I'm trying to get to 1,000, and I hope to do that as soon as possible. So this is my business card that my daughter did for me. I had shown my old card when I was a dealer back in the 90s, and my daughter actually made me a new card for my Collector's Dream YouTube channel, and that's what it looks like. That is the back of it, and she did it with the new scan thing. I don't know too much about it, but I tried it and it works. You just got to take a picture of that little barcode and it goes right to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to take some of these to the national, pass them out, hopefully get some more subscribers to my channel. But I wanted to thank some of the current subscribers, the people that have not just subscribed, but liked, send me comments. There's 300 of you now, so I definitely cannot thank everybody, but I'd love to. But I do want to mention some of the people that have actually helped me along the way. And the first one is Vince from New York Yanks Fan 7. He was the first one to actually notice my channel, and he highlighted my channel on his channel, and that's what really helped me get over the 200 subscribers. So New York Yanks fan, you're the man. You're the main guy that helped me get to this point. I also want to thank some of the other people that have commented on my videos and have also subscribed. And most of these people are people that I have admired, and I have, looked at their channels and have commented on their channels. And again, great people in the community, and I just want to thank them individually. So first of all, of course, New York Yanks Fan 7. I want to thank Dylan from Double D Cards. These are all shout outs. I want to thank James, Elite Hunters, subscribing to my channel, commenting on my channel. Especially George from Diamond Yard Sports Cards. George, thank you very much. I've watched all your videos. I've watched most of these videos of everybody that subscribed to me. So hopefully they'll watch all my videos. But I just want to thank them, give them shout outs, because they've done a great job of just great comments, and I really appreciate their subscribership. I also want to thank Ryan Nolan from Breakout Cards. Thank you, Ryan. Great videos, do a great job, and commented, and I did a video for you. One of my main men, Pepino Man. I love Pepino Man, love his videos, and I want to thank him, give him another shout out. Also want to give a shout out to Blue Jacket 66, Dave. Dave, thank you so much, subscribing, and wonderful comments you've been giving me over the last month or so. So thanks for subscribing. I want to also thank John for John Mangini, the Mangini Collection, for subscribing to my channel, also commenting on some of my videos. Thank you, John. I appreciate you watching my videos, and I love your videos, love your collection, and hopefully we can continue to put some nice videos you will enjoy. Also want to thank Dead Guy Cardboard. He's got an incredible collection and also has commented on my collection. I really appreciate Dead Guy Cardboard for subscribing. So those are just some of the people I remember. There's a lot more out there, and I just want to thank all of my subscribers for getting up to 300 subscribers. Hopefully I will pass over 500, and my goal is to get to 1,000. So here's my business card again, and let's get to the reveal. So first of all, I'm going to start out with the 1968 game cards, and these were inserted in packs of 1968 cards. And this one is Willie Mays in a 4. I think it got a 4 because it's got some staining back there. But it's a Willie Mays card, a nice Willie Mays 1968 game card in a 4. Now these game cards, I've done a video on these game cards. If you want to go back and see it, I've got the entire set, and I actually played the game on the video so people could see how the game is played. So if you want to go back and look at my previous videos, you can see the entire set of these cards, and actually I played the game. So these are playing cards from 1968, inserted in the 68 set. This is the Roberto Clemente in a 5. That's Mangini's favorite, Roberto Clemente in a 5. It's a nice card, nice game card. If you guys want to get some very inexpensive cards of these Hall of Famers, these game cards is the way to go. Next one, another one of the game cards. And what I did is I just picked up my top Hall of Famers from the games and graded those. So the next one is Hank Aaron in a 5. That's Hammering Hank. And that's the Hank Aaron Topps game card in SGC 5. I love the SGC holders. They really look great. These tuxedos are really highlight the card, especially the vintage cards. And the last one of the 68s that I got graded, and this is the Mickey Mantle, and the Mickey Mantle gets a 4. So that's the Mick and the 1968 Topps game card. Mickey Mantle in a 4. This adds to my Mickey Mantle collection that are now, most of them are now graded. If you want to go back and look at my Mickey Mantle collection, go through my videos, and you'll see my entire run of Mickey Mantle cards, of PSA graded cards. So that's the Mickey Mantle game card, 1968 in a 4. Now we're going to move on to the 1970 cards. And this is one of the, if you looked at my last video, my original collection, that was the box I showed that I did it for Pepino Man, and that showed these 1970 cards. I pulled out the original box, because all these cards I pulled out of packs myself back in 1970. So this is the batting leaders card. It's got the Carew, Reese, and Tony Oliva Hall of Fame, 8.5. That's a nice grade on that one, an 8.5 for Rod Carew, Reggie Smith, Tony Oliva card. The 1969 batting leaders. This is a 1970 card. I pulled these cards from packs myself, and I did a video on this set. It's my first set I've ever completed, first set I ever built, and these actually, I pulled them all myself back in 1970 and kept them in nice condition. So this one got a great grade with an 8.5. The next one is the RBI Leaders. That's the RBI Leaders from 1970, which would be the 69 RBI Leaders. And you can see who's there: Kilobrew, Powell, and Reggie Jackson. So this is a second year Reggie Jackson from 1970. And that card grades a 5. It's still a very nice card. I guess it may have something there, I don't know, but it still looks nice. It's the second year Reggie Jackson with the Harmon Kilobrew, another Hall of Famer, and Boog Powell, one of my favorite players back in the 70s for the Orioles. So there it's RBI Leaders 1969 with a second year Reggie and Harmon Kilobrew, grades of 5. All of these were raw. I pulled them out of the 1970 set that I have and just picked out some of the ones I thought were Hall of Famers and better cards to grade. So this is the pitching leaders. And this one has Seaver, Necro, Jenkins, and Marichal, 4 Hall of Famers. And this grade's a 4. That's a little disappointing on that, because a lot of these cards, like I said, came right out of the pack. So they are pretty sharp. I guess this may have something in the bottom left-hand corner there, but it's still a 1970 vintage card with 4 Hall of Famers. Seaver, Necro, Jenkins, and Juan Marichal. That graded a 4. More 1970s. This is the Reggie Jackson card, the 2nd year Reggie. Again, I pulled these out of my 1970 set, not necessarily because they were the best grades, but because they were Hall of Famers I wanted to get graded. So this is the Reggie Jackson, the 2nd year Reggie, and that grades a 5. And that's the Reggie Jackson 1970 Topps in a 5. I love how these cards look in the tuxedo borders. And this one just looks like it has a little nick right up here. But other than that, the card looks very nice, very sharp. So that's the 1970 Reggie, 2nd year Reggie Jackson in a nice tuxedo. Next comes the Harmon Kilobrew. And you can see played for Washington, then Minnesota. So that's the Harmon Kilobrew card from 1970. And that grades a 6. Very nice for a 1970 card. And it graded a 6. Looks like it's a little off-centered, but it does have very nice sharp corners. Harmon Kilobrew, 1970, and a 6. Give you a good look at that card. Those are very, very nice condition cards. All sharp corners. And what I like about these is, since they were sitting in the box for such a long time, that they're very sharp. The picture's very bright. Some of these can get faded. They get faded after a while. This is the 69 National League Playoff. This was the Mets when they shocked the world and won the championship, the 69 World Series. And this is game number 1. And that's the Seaver in grades a 7. And that's the 1970 playoff game 1 in a 7. This is the Tom Seaver wins the opener. This is in really nice condition again. All of these have nice sharp corners, and they look very, very nice, very sharp. So that's Tom Seaver winning game 1 of the 69 World Series. Next one is another one of the World Series cards, and this is going to be the Nolan Ryan. This is the 1969 was the 2nd year of Ryan, but this is a 70 card, so it'll be a 3rd year Nolan Ryan card. Again, these are all going to be very, very sharp. And let's see what this graded, a 4.5. And this is the way off-centered, and you can see that's why, because the corners are nice and sharp. But that's the Ryan saves the day. Nolan Ryan's first appearance in the World Series. And it does have a little ding in this corner here, I think. That's, I think, what took it down, and the off-centering. But it's still a nice Nolan Ryan card, so I figured I'd go ahead and get that graded. Nolan Ryan. Ryan saves the day. Next comes the Brooks Robinson. That's, as you know already, my favorite player. The Brooks Robinson, number 230 from 1970. And Brooks Robinson gets a 7.5. That's a nice grade for that Brooks Robinson. Very nicely centered, very sharp corners. That could have even gotten an 8, but 7.5 is a nice grade for a 1970 card in nice condition. Seven and a half, Brooks Robinson from 1970. Next comes Mangini's favorite player, Roberto Clemente, number 350. This one looks like it has a little bit of a print mark there and a little bit on the top. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Maybe not as good as some of the others, but it's a Clemente, so we got to get those graded. And that gets a 5. So again, pretty nice corners, beautiful Clemente card. One of my favorite poses for Roberto with his bat. Nice card there. And it looks like it may have a little thing in the corner, but not too bad. Even though graded a 5, it's still a nice, beautiful card for the 1970 Roberto Clemente. And it's a beautiful image of Roberto. I love that card, especially with the tuxedo borders. Looks really, really nice. Makes these vintage cards really pop, really stand out. Next one comes the Willie Mccovey, another Hall of Famer, card number 250 in the 1970 set. And Willie Mccovey gets a 7.5. Another nice grade. Willie Mccovey, beautiful stance. I love the 1970 cards, even though most of them are posed pictures. They're nicely taken pictures. Mccovey there with his bat. 1970 Mccovey and a 7.5. So these 1970 cards that I had in that box, you could see that they graded pretty nicely. Most of them are in great shape. This is the Bob Gibson, 1970 Bob Gibson. Bob's the only pitcher to have 2 homers in World Series. So here comes the Bob Gibson, and Bob Gibson gets a 7. That's a nice grade for the Bob Gibson. Again, it's in beautiful condition, nicely centered. It has nice borders, and it grades a 7. That's a nice Bob Gibson. 1970 Bob Gibson. The next reveal is the Ernie Banks. This is a high number card, so these are more difficult to come about, especially in a good condition. This is number 630. Ernie hit 5 grand slams in 1955 to set a record. You can see he played for the Cubs the whole year, and Ernie Banks gets a 5.5. 5.5 for the Ernie Banks. Boy, that card is nice. Corners all over. Oh, I see. Okay. It looks like it has like a diamond cut. A little bit slanted cut on that Ernie Banks, because those corners are all sharp. That looks like it would be a higher graded card for sure. But you can see that it has a little bit of a diamond tilt to it there. That's probably why I got the 5.5. But a beautiful picture of Ernie. Nice stance, nice swing. Ernie Banks, 1970 high number, and a 5.5. Next comes the Al Kaline. Al Kaline, another player that played for the same team, the Detroit Tigers, and in 1955, Al became the youngest player to win the American League batting title. So another high number, tough number to get in a good grade. Here comes the Al Kaline, and Al Kaline gets a 7. That's a nice grade for the Al Kaline, and it's a nice card. Him holding the bat. Al Kaline, 1970 in a 7. Just want you guys to take a look at those cards. I don't know if you had a chance to even see some of these cards, but these are nice 1970 cards in pretty high grades. Next comes the Frank Robinson. And this is again another high number card, number 700, one of the last cards in the set. That one looks nice, maybe a little print mark there. But other than that, the back is beautifully clean. And let's see what Frank Robinson gets, a 7.5. Nice card of Frank. Nice portrait picture of him. 1970 Topps Frank Robinson in a 7.5. That card could have gotten an 8 actually. It's a beautiful card. Sharp corners. Good looking card. Frank Robinson, one of the best players ever. Won the MVP in both the American League and the National League. That's a 1970 Frank Robinson in a 7.5. Now we're going to move on to the 1971s. And I'm going to start with the football. 1971 football, Johnny Unitas. I don't do a lot of football, but this is one of the sets that I do have. I have almost the entire set. And I pulled out this one because it is the number 1 card in the set. And these are tough to get in good condition because the borders, again, the same as the 71s. When they made the 71 football and they made the 71 baseball, they both put them in these borders, which this one, you could see has the red border. And that's a 5. I was hoping to get a little better on that, but because a number 1 card is really tough to get in good condition, especially from the 1971 set, because those borders are just solid color borders, just like the baseball. This has a little bit of chipping on the bottom, but a nice Johnny U from 1971, card number 1 in the 1971 football set. So I'm probably gonna grade some more of these 71 football, but I'm mainly a baseball guy, so I really want to grade my baseball cards first. So this is from 1971 cards, and this is the Bert Blyleven rookie card. Again, the 71s is a set that I myself pulled out of packs and put together back in 1971. And I actually built the 70, 71, 72, 73, and 74 sets. Then I stopped collecting and came back later. You could look at my 1970 video, 1970 card video, and you could, I'd tell you the story of how I got collecting and how I returned to the hobby again. So you can watch that video. I put it out about a week ago. A 5.5 for the Bert Blyleven. And these again are very, very difficult to get a high grade on because any little thing will cause chipping. And this has a little bit of chipping on the sides there. But a 5.5 for a 1971 card, it's a pretty decent grade. And that's the Bert Blyleven rookie card from the 1971 Topps set. I'll show you some more 71s. I think most of these are going to be all 71s that are left here. I got some 72s showing also. So here's just another 71. And this is the Steve Carlton, card number 55. This is one of the top left-handed pitchers ever to pitch. I'd say Sandy Koufax is probably better in his short time, but Steve Carlton was one of the better pitchers, and Steve gets a 7. That's a beautiful card. And really in the tuxedo borders with the black border, it looks really, really nice. It looks good in the pictures, but you gotta see it in person. It looks a lot better in person. This has really, really nice corners, edges, just a touch of white in the little corner there, but overall, very, very, very difficult. These cards really chip, the black chips so easily, and you could see it so easy. Very noticeable when you see the chipping, but for a 1971 card in a 7, that's a very good grade. And that's the Steve Carlton 1971 Topps. Next one is the Tom Seaver, the 1971 Tom Seaver, card number 160. Again, an incredible pitcher, Hall of Famer. And Tom Seaver gets a 5. It looks pretty good to me. Tom Seaver and a 5. Maybe a tiny touch of chipping, but it really looks good. It looks like it's nicely centered. It's a nice Tom Seaver. Maybe could have gotten a little bit better grade, but again, that's going to stay in my PC with the entire set. Another 1971 black border card is Brooks Robinson. And Brooks Robinson gets a 6. Brooks Robinson, 1971, number 300. Nice card. I don't like that pose, the bad picture there. What I do like about the 71s is a lot of these pictures that were taken in 1971 are game pictures. Actually, when they played, they were not posed like the 1970s. Some of them were, but some of them were game action shots. If you look at the Thurman Munson card, it's a complete action shot there, and I have that one also. I'm going to go ahead one of these days and do a video on my 71 top set and show you the whole set like I did with the 70s, with the 1970 set. So there's Brooks Robinson, 1971 and a 6. Next comes Ernie Banks, number 525. We're getting to the little bit higher numbers right now. And here comes Ernie, and Ernie comes as a 4. A 4 for Ernie Banks. I'm not too happy with that one, but it's still an Ernie Banks Hall of Famer and a 4. I guess it has some chipping across the top there and a little bit on the side. Yeah, that's the bad corner right there. That's probably where I got the 4. Again, I handled these cards when I was a kid. I put them together. I put them in order. And I put them by team. So they got a little bit of wear and tear. Not too much though, because I really didn't mess with them too much. And you could hear the story of how I got these cards. They were put away for many, many years after I collected them. This is the Willie Mays, 1971, high number, number 600. Now the high number 671 cards are some of the toughest cards to get in high grades. They're difficult to find, and especially in the higher grades. The 71 tops probably are one of the hardest to find in good grades. So I get a 5 on the Willie Mays. That's a nice Willie, maybe some on the bottom, but a 5 for a Hall of Famer and a high number 71 card. Very, very nice. Very hard to find these cards in good grades, especially the 1971 high numbers. So that's the Willie Mays and a 5. Next, we got one of the toughest cards to find in good grade, and that's the Richie Allen, number 650, another one of the high number cards. And Richie Allen, I graded him because I expect him to be in the Hall of Fame very soon. He's not right now, but you know, Dick Allen will be in the Hall of Fame, one of the best players during his era. So let's look at Richie Allen. In 1971 tops, high number, gets a 6.5. That's a great grade for a high number Richie Allen. If you know about the 71 set, these high numbers are very difficult, and the set collectors are really looking for good cards, especially the Richie Allen. It's one of the desirable cards from the high numbers. Very, very nice, very difficult to get these cards in good condition. So that's the 71 Richie Allen in a 6.5. It just looks like it's off-centered, even though the corners are sharp. Just a little off-centering on that. And I think this is the last 71 card that I'm showing in this reveal. And this is one of the more desirable cards in the set, and it's the Dusty Baker and Don Baylor rookie card. And that's card 709, one of the last cards in the set. The Dusty Baker and Don Baylor rookie card gets a 6. And that is a pretty good grade for this high number Baylor rookie. Take a good look at that. A little bit of chipping on the bottom here, possibly on the top and the sides, but again, from 1971, these black border cards are very, very tough to find in nice condition, especially with the black borders like that and the high numbers. So Dusty Baker and a Don Baylor 71 tops rookie card and a SGC 6. I'll take that. That's a nice card. Now comes the 1972 cards. And this is one of the rookies in 72, which is Carlton Fisk. So here comes the Carlton Fisk. Again, these cards, I pulled them out of packs. This one, I think, has a little thing on the corner here. But it's his rookie card, so I had to send it in. So 79, number 79 gets a 5. And that's the Cecil Cooper, Carlton Fisk rookie card. 72 tops. And that gets a 5. It's off-centered, and I think it had a little ding in the corner. But mainly the off-centering, because the corners look very sharp here on the front, but I think the off-centering is what took it down to a 5. But it's still a Carlton Fisk, nice vintage 72 card in a 5. The next 1972 card is the Bob Gibson. And Bob Gibson, again, I'm gonna, the same thing I did with the 70, 71, 72s, 73s, and I'm gonna end up showing the entire set, do a video one day. But this is the Bob Gibson, and Bob Gibson gets a 7. That's a nice card for Bob Gibson. Nice condition, a little bit off-centered, but super sharp corners. Super sharp card. It looks really nice in these tuxedos. I really like the SGC holders better than PSA. And I paid $23 a card to get these graded, which is not too bad. And I was able to send in 100 cards. There was no limit as to the value of the cards. So it's not like PSA, who has a limit on the value and you could only send 20 cards, even though they lowered the price. I just love the SGC holders, and especially if you're going to keep them in your collection for a while. And even if you're not, I really feel that SGC is really as tough, or maybe even tougher than PSA in grading, especially on the vintage. So I feel that eventually the prices of the SGC are going to catch up to the prices of the PSA. Once people realize, first of all, how nice it looks in these holders and how strict their grading is. So here's the Tom Seaver, 72 tops, and Tom Seaver gets a 7 also. So that's a 1972 Tom Seaver and a 7. That, again, like most of these vintage cards, the off-centering is what brings it down a notch. It's very difficult to get them centered. The corners are beautiful, the corners are sharp. I don't know if you can get a good look at it, but in person, this card looks really, really sharp. Just off-centered. But Tom Seaver, 1972, in a 7. Of course, I take that. And the last two is the Rod Carew. Now, these are the high number cards. Again, I keep saying it, but the high numbers in this vintage in the 70s, in 71 and 72 are really tough to come by and very tough to get them in good condition. And there's almost 800 cards to this set, the 1972 set. So not 800, but it's 700, and I don't remember the exact amount, but it's way over 700 cards. So this is number 695, the Rod Carew, and Rod Carew gets a 6.5. Again, a nice card. It may have a little thing in the corner there. I don't know what that is. That may even be on the holder. I don't know. No, maybe not. But either way, that looks very sharp, very nice. A 6.5 Rod Carew. (1972) Topps Rod Carew. And the last card in this reveal is, I think this is the other Rod Carew in action. Yeah, number 696. And these in action cards had a puzzle on the back that you can actually build. I think I built it when I was a kid. I think I put that together at one point. So this is the Rod Carew, and that gets an 8. A Rod Carew in action gets an 8. Very nice. Nice grade for that Rod Carew in action. Again, very sharp corners, and this one is centered. So once these cards, if you can find them centered, I can get a good grade. So I'll look through my 72s again and see what I can find in there that could be more like this 8. I'm sure I have a few others, and I still have some stars I haven't graded. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody for looking at my videos and subscribing and liking. I really appreciate it. I wanted to show you some of these cards that I have here and some of the grades. So I'll be doing another reveal, which will be from 1973 on. Like I said, I graded over 100 cards. So I'm hoping that you enjoy these videos and like and subscribe, just like all my other friends did. Vince, Dylan, James, George, Ryan, John Mangini, Dave, Blue Jacket, and Dead Guy Cardboard, and all the other guys that have subscribed to my channel. Thank you very, very much. I appreciate it, and I'll be releasing more videos soon. So thank you, everybody. Have an awesome day. This is Orlando from A Collector's Dream.